Blessings and welcome to episode 8 of Exploring Esoterica, New Orleans Voodoo, Origins and Evolution. New Orleans Voodoo emerged as a distinctive blend of African spirituality, Catholic traditions, and Creole innovation during the 18th and 19th centuries in colonial Louisiana. This unique religious practice traces its roots primarily to the Fon and Ewe peoples of modern-day Benin and Togo, as well as the Yoruba of Nigeria, who brought their rich spiritual traditions across the Atlantic during the slave trade. These traditions emphasized a pantheon of deities known as loas or orishas, ancestral veneration, spirit possession, and divination practices. What made Louisiana particularly special for the development of voodoo was its Catholic framework. Unlike the Protestant South, where African spiritual practices were harshly suppressed, the Catholic environment provided surprising flexibility. The Code Noir of 1685, while forcing enslaved people to convert to Catholicism, inadvertently created opportunities for African traditions to survive, by allowing practitioners to disguise their deities as Catholic saints. This religious accommodation enabled the preservation of African spiritual practices in ways impossible elsewhere in the American South. The syncretism between voodoo and Catholicism produced remarkable parallels in religious iconography and practice. Papa Legba, the guardian of crossroads, became associated with St. Peter or St. Lazarus. The love and beauty Loa Ezili Freda found her counterpart in the Virgin Mary. Baron Samedi, the spirit of death, was linked to saints like Martin de Porres or Saint Expedite. Catholic elements such as holy water, candles, incense, and saints' altars became integral to voodoo ceremonies, creating a unique spiritual tapestry that allowed the religion to survive under the guise of Christian worship. Congo Square, now part of Louis Armstrong Park, played a pivotal role in voodoo's evolution. Here, enslaved Africans gathered on Sundays, their soul-free day, to maintain their cultural and spiritual connections. These gatherings weren't merely social events, they were crucial opportunities for preserving African traditions through drumming, dance, and ritual practices. The square became a cultural crucible where various African ethnic groups could share and evolve their spiritual traditions, ultimately influencing not just voodoo, but also the birth of distinctive musical forms like jazz and blues. New Orleans voodoo developed its own character, distinct from both Haitian Vodou and West African Vodun. While sharing common ancestry, it emphasized practical magic and healing through gris-gris charms and root work. The practice became less institutionalized than its Caribbean and African counterparts, focusing more on individual practitioners and practical applications for love, protection, health, and even revenge. The language of practice evolved to include French, English, and Creole, unlike the Haitian Creole or African languages of its relatives. Marie Laveau, circa 1801 to 1881, the renowned voodoo queen, exemplified the height of New Orleans voodoo's influence. As a free woman of color working as a hairdresser, Laveau masterfully combined spiritual practice with social influence. Her access to the city's elite through her profession allowed her to build a powerful network. She became known for incorporating Catholic prayers into voodoo rituals and conducting elaborate ceremonies at Congo Square and Lake Pontchartrain. Her influence extended beyond spiritual matters into legal interventions and social services, making her a powerful community leader. Even after her death, her tomb in St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 became a significant pilgrimage site. Dr. John Montanée, a Senegalese-born practitioner who preceded Laveau, also left an indelible mark on the tradition. Claiming royal descent, he became famous for his flamboyant style and effective spiritual work, selling gris-gris bags and potions to clients across racial and class lines. His practice combined African medicinal knowledge with local botanical remedies, establishing a template for later practitioners. His legacy extended beyond his lifetime, inspiring cultural figures including the musician Mac Rebennack, who adopted Dr. John as a stage name. Today, while New Orleans voodoo has experienced periods of marginalization and commercialization through tourism, its cultural impact remains significant. Modern practitioners often blend traditional elements with contemporary spiritual practices, while scholars emphasize its importance as a living religion rooted in African diasporic resilience and community healing. Voodoo shops, spiritual readings, and ritual services continue to operate in the city, though many caution against the commercialization of these sacred practices. The legacy of New Orleans voodoo continues to shape the city's identity, representing a remarkable story of cultural survival and adaptation. Through centuries of oppression and change, it has remained a powerful testament to the human spirit's ability to preserve and transform spiritual traditions in the face of adversity, remaining deeply embedded in the fabric of New Orleans life and cultural identity. This has been a presentation of Black Moon Publishing.